Welcome to Thriving with Nature, a podcast that gives you the tools you need to live a modern lifestyle that helps regenerate our planet. And now your host, Hayley Weatherburn.
Episode 46, The Land, It's Beginning. Good morning, Thrivers. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are. It's a beautiful day today here in the jungle. I can hear the hum of the insects around me, the serenity. And today I thought I'd give you an update. There's a few things happening in regards to the land I'm very excited about. Yeah, and just some other updates in regards to regenerative steps that I'm taking to make sure that I'm contributing to a positive influence on this planet rather than contributing to destruction. It's a step-by-step, it's a journey, is what I'm finding, because we can't just throw everything out, go into the jungle and live like cave people. That's not the idea. I believe that we can have a thriving modern life and thrive with nature. So far, if you've been listening to the episodes, the biggest issue for me at the moment that's sort of pressing is rubbish. There's two options. I can cage it, which means there's these cages that you can go put your rubbish in and they just get collected. And they probably get driven down to a tip, just the normal tip. The other option here is to burn your rubbish, which is not an option for me because that's just... the plastic, the chemicals that you release in the air they can cause cancer and all that kind of stuff. So that's just not an option for me. I had mentioned that one of my cleaner, she asked if she could take it because she could get money for the plastic. And apparently that only happens occasionally, once in a while. And so, yeah, that is not ideal. I have reached out to Ecobali. And I need to follow up on them again. I had sort of left it going. They said they need to speak to their manager and get back to me. I haven't heard from them, and I kind of left it because I thought this plastic for money thing was happening up here. But I've just found out recently it's not, so I need to get back into contact with them so I can... because all I'm doing is I'm hoarding my plastic and my rubbish at the moment because I didn't want to contribute to issues. So that's happening on that front. So I need to follow up on that. I think I'll feel much better when I have a plastic, I have my recycling back, because there was hardly anything that I was throwing out because I have a compost now. Everything was being sorted to the best of my abilities at this point in time. So that's something that I definitely encourage you to do. Is in some Western cultures, you do have you've got your bins that are for your paper and then your bins for your plastic. And then some places have your bins for compost stuff. I definitely recommend going and looking at makesoil.org. I'm going to put the link in the show notes and on the website. Makesoil.org is an amazing company that's organization, a non-for-profit organization that's creating a sort of a map of the world of people who can compost for you. And so if you can't compost yourself, maybe you live in an apartment and it's not really practical for you, what you can do is have a look at this makesoil.org and find an organization right near you that will receive your compost and potentially even, exchange it for soil or like actual fresh compost or, and it's a great way to meet community, like-minded, regenerative living kind of people like us. So definitely recommend it. Check it out, the link, makesoil.org. Yeah, so that's something. San Diego, if you've watched the movie Kiss the Ground on Netflix, if you haven't, you need to get onto it. It's an amazing documentary, very interesting. It's that one and The Biggest Little Farm that I often encourage people to watch just to introduce you to this world of regenerative living. Yeah, so that's happening. Also today, I'm actually meeting with the landowners for the very first time in a more professional way. The first time I caught up with them was just after I was with my brother coming to look at the land, and they invited us over for a tea, coffee. Everyone drinks coffee and tea here. It's very unusual, and their tea is full of sugar. I have to remember to ask for no sugar. But yeah, it's it's like a must. It's a non-negotiable. You've got to, it's, you know, polite. That's not a word. What's the word? I'll think of it. It's being, you know, it's nice. It's part of the culture, and it's yeah, I can't think of the word. It's too early, but feel free to write what the word is that I'm trying to think of. So yeah, so that will be happening today, and it's more of as I said, it's more professional because we're actually sitting down and having conversations. I've already received a draft of the contract. But this is an idea of like getting to know the people. It's a nicety. It's, you know, hey, we just want to talk about these. I have my friend who has been living here for 30 years. He's coming with me to help with the communication because it's Indonesian and Balinese, and to help make sure we think of everything, because there's interesting stories that can happen here. I mean, I am a foreigner. There's no doubt about that. I wasn't born here in this country. And so, and this can happen not just to foreigners, but it can happen to locals as well. But it's just, so you've got to think of all the different things. You know, in Australia, we've got legal contracts, lawyers, and there's sort of a very bureaucratic process that happens. Here, you know, in villages, they can just have handshake contracts. And so what can happen is you may go to one person and they've got the land title, but there could be an actual village agreement that actually this person doesn't own it, someone else owns it. And there's been people that have been burned before, and, you know, and it's, you know, my brother's concerned because you've just got to make sure that you've crossed all your I's and dotted all your T's and do the best you can. You know, you've just got to, I'm trying to take this step by step, slowly, get to know the people, introduce them to what I would like to do, but also just, you know, and after I speak to these people and I go through the contract and all those kind of things, you know, then there's also the process that I want to meet the heads of the village, which is really important, and introduce myself and say hi and get to know them and hopefully get their blessing for me coming into the village. Then there's also joining the ceremonies. At the moment, the ceremonies are sort of not happening as much because of COVID, but you want to make sure that you're part of, even though I'm a person that's not religious, it just hasn't flowed that way. Here in Bali, in the Hinduism, they actually are very open and they're very understanding, and if you want to join right in, they'll bring you right in, but there's no, you have to do this and have to do that. But there is a nicety of like showing up each month at their ceremony, giving a little small donation to the temple and being part of the community. Another thing I want to do as a social thing is to start teaching English, because that way I can start to meet the children, improve my Indonesian, and get to know them and they get to know me. And that way I'm contributing. I'm bringing something that I know that I can help improve the community in a way, give them English lessons for free. So yeah, it's a process and it takes time. I'm currently, as I think I mentioned in the last one, I'm learning Indonesian again. I did learn it at high school, but at that time I was learning it for the fact that I needed to learn a language. It wasn't because I wanted to or needed to. So you learn it a bit differently when you're really passionate about, I want to be fluent up here. I want to be able to understand the people and share my vision in their language in the best way possible. So yeah, it's a process and it's going to take time, but I'm full on. The accelerator is on in regards to learning. I've got one of the local English teachers actually coming, and she comes and does a little one-on-one lesson with me, which helps just to have someone to sit for an hour and just communicate what I need, ask the questions that have been on my mind for a while. So that is what's happening here in the jungle, in the cabin here. Moving forward, For Thriving with Nature, there's some exciting things happening. I'm going to be working on an online course, so stay tuned for that. That's happening, and I'm working closely with Heal Thyself Tribe. Check them out. I hope you're having an amazing day. This is a short one today, but just wanted to touch base. Thank you so much for everyone that's listening. If you're listening in this moment, right now, you're hearing my voice, I just want to say thank you so much. I'm just grateful that there's people out there that are like-minded and connecting and interested. Yeah, it's just really awesome, and I couldn't do this without you all. And the more people, I want to make sure I'm adding value to these podcasts. I do want to bring more interviews in. It has been a little bit stressful moving up here, and with lots of other things happening, but stay tuned because there's more stuff coming. And in actual fact, the introduction video for Thriving with Nature, I believe, is launching today on YouTube. So go check it out, thrivingwithnature.com, and what Thriving with Nature is all about, if this is the first time you've ever heard me. So thanks so much. Have a beautiful day, evening, morning. We'll see you later.
Hey, if you enjoyed listening to my podcast, remember to subscribe to hear more. You also have to come check out the Living Supplement Garden, a garden that reads your individual's body's condition and grows the substances it requires to move towards optimal health and potentially healing your ailments. When we align with nature, we thrive with nature. I'd love to have you join myself and others as we discover the magic of nature together and strive to heal both ourselves and our planet. Go to thrivingwithnature.com.